Okay, we just finished making this card, and this is obviously for winter/Christmas, and we haven't even hit really autumn yet. You know, it's the middle of September, so I thought I would share with you the one that I made that looks more like a scarecrow. Isn't he something? This is going to be a lot of fun to put together. It is done a little differently than the snowman. I have some of the pieces, I have it all cut out and ready to go, so I will just walk you through how I pieced it together. Oh, I got it all here. Okay, same deal as before. The mat is cut an 1/8 inch smaller than the card base. The card base is 5 by 7, so that makes it 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. I'm rounding the corners because I don't like square corners mostly. Sometimes you just have to, but I don't today. Get these rounded. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I used some of the scraps from my Graphic 45 Proper Gentleman paper set. I had quite a bit left over after creating the scrapbook mini. Down. Since we're going to be creating this bow tie, I want to make sure I have plenty of room at the bottom. And this is a grid paper on here, which makes it awesome for placing the pieces so they're spaced evenly. Just one. Okay. I love the blues in this paper. Make just an amazing scarecrow. I better back out a little bit. I'm sorry. There we go. Off the tape that went over the edge. Do this piece. this is one of the punch outs from the paper set. Get out. Stormy Sky. That's the color. Oh, I should trim it first. 4 3/4. I'm going to leave the buttons showing. So there we go. Round the corners. Okay, before I glue him down, I drew an outline of the face. And then I drew my mouth in pencil until I got it how I wanted it. And now all I've got to do is just put it over the top. And I'm going to take my ball tool and just draw this line. Enough to make an indentation on the card below. And you probably can't see it, but it's there. Now I've got my distress marker brush corduroy. I want to use the fine end. I want to make this in one motion. Okay, now put the brim of the hat on. Now the eyes are made with the 3/4 inch and the 1/2 inch circle punch. The whites and the blacks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the black onto the white, and then place them and then adhere them down. Now depending on how I place these, depend on what the expression is. I kind of like the looking up one. I think that's the one I'm going to use this time. Here's his cheeks. It's I had a colored cardstock, but it wasn't exactly like blushy cheeks, so I just added some what is it? It's one of the pinks, Victorian Velvet. Just lightly put Victorian Velvet on with my applicator. And just put it at the corner of his mouth, wherever you want it. As long as it covers up the end somewhere. Next is his hat. And I have these wonderful leaves I made. I again had some old orange cardstock, and I used Distress in two colors. That I used Mowed Lawn, and I used, I think I used Persimmon again, Bright Persimmon, and then I put some Distress stain tarnished brass on my craft mat and just kind of wiped it through to give it this little bit of a glittery look. So those will fit like that. You know what? I forgot his fringe. And since this is just taped on, oh no, I glued it down. Oh, can't fix it. But this is just a bit of raffia cut, and I ran a run of tape on the back and just stuck the raffia down on it, and then ran another strip of tape to hold it down, and then I put it all on the card. I'm sorry I forgot that. It's getting late here, and I should probably have waited until tomorrow to do this. Okay. I was so excited about getting it all done and showing it. Next is a different button. I have one or two. And I have this wonderful twine that I possibly found at the dollar store. But it's white and it just works perfectly for this. So I'm just going to thread it through the 4 holes. And I want a long tail on it because I'm going to use it to make that that bow with. And you'll see how I do that in a second. But I want it to cross and end with the strings coming down through the back. Turn my glue gun on because I am going to need that momentarily. Okay. So a nice big tail to work with. And now what I am just going to create a double loop. Make sure I have a nice tail. I've got everything just a little long so I can, it's easier to shorten, because you certainly can't put it back once you take it off. Okay, so I'm just going to take this button, the 2 pieces that are hanging from it, and just tie this down. You don't have to make a knot, just get it cinched good and tight, because the hot glue will hold it on when you're done. Okay. Go there. Just turn these off a little bit. Not quite hot enough yet. Well, let's get the nose done. I have 1/2 inch strip of orange, and I will cut it to 3/4 inch. So I have a 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch piece. Let's see if I can show this to you. Diagonally, top to bottom, and that makes the nose. Okay, let's get the nose on. the highlights on the eyes. Set this aside for a minute. Now we're going to use envelope punch board to make the bow tie. You will need 1-inch strip of paper, 6 inches long, and another 3.5 inches long, and then you'll need a 1/4 inch strip, about an inch, inch and a quarter. And here's the envelope punch board. This is all over. Well, there's a couple of places that shows you how to do this on YouTube. You punch at the middle, which at 6 inches would be at 3. So you put the end here at the 3-inch mark, punch it, flip it so the back side is showing, and punch it again. And now you're going to go inside here and put it right at the edge of this. And I have to see it. Do it twice. And I messed it up. Shoot. Okay, now we're going to make the bow tie. This is, you can find how to make the paper bows on YouTube, and I'm going to show you anyway. You need 3 strips of paper for this version, 1 inch by 6 inch, 1 inch by 3.5, then 1/4 by 1.5. Now you're going to take your 6-inch piece and you're going to lay it here, and let me zoom out a little bit, just a little, okay. And you're going to punch it in the middle, which means you're going to put this edge at the 3-inch mark, and you're going to flip it over and do it again. Now you're going to punch it so it just comes out like this. So you line up this edge with the edge of the punch here. And you bring it down and you line it up the other side coming from this direction. Turn it over and do the same thing again. And you have 2 tabs here. Boy, something went wrong. Why doesn't this want to work? Okay, take your 6-inch piece, you're going to punch in the center, so you put your edge at 3 inches. Flip it over and punch it again. Okay, now we're going to line the edge up with the edge of the punch here, and do this off with this end, line up on this edge, and we'll turn it around and do the same thing. You end up with these little tab things here, which is exactly what you want. Okay, I need to edge these, and I am going to use, what am I going to use? Probably going to use fired brick. There's enough on my pad. Just do it by hand without an applicator. Punch my next one again in the middle, so that makes you put it at 1 3/4. Flop it over, 1 3/4. Okay, now we want to make the little V cut here, so try to line it up as best you can to be centered on this punch here. It's not the easiest thing to do, but okay. Done with the punch board. Edge these. And edge our little strip here. Okay. Take my bone folder, I can find it, and just give this a little bit of a curl. I'm going to glue these tabs down. Just a wee bit. There's no way I need all that. one bow tie ready to glue down. Okay, the last thing is the ticket in here. I went around the edge and vintage photo, pretty sure. And see, this is way too bright, so we're going to give it just a little bit of a again with maybe a little bit of the right persimmon. Not much, just a little. Okay, it's all ready to stamp your sentiment on. Tuck it in there. There they are, side by side. It does look a little different without the hair, but they're still both very, very handsome fellas. Alright, till next time, y'all have a great crafting day, and I will see you again soon.